Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Two Clicks from KO. As always, I am Aries Edge and the macaroni to my cheese on the West Coast. The one and only Aaron Cantu. Aaron, how we doing, bud? How you been?
I've been all right, man. Have a little bit stressful day today, but you know what? It's all good because we're gonna talk hero clicks right now.
We're gonna talk some hero clicks. We're gonna talk Nats. We didn't get a chance to cover some national coverage. We have a new national champion. Shout out Patrick Frazier.
Mm-hmm.
Hawkeye. Reigning
Hawkeye
Supreme
Vulture.
rotates.
Hawkeye Vulture.
Let's give Hawkeye his due.
All
It's
right.
not on an ID card. Vulture's gonna be around for a while. They're macaroni and cheese as well to each other. They
That's true.
played off each other very well. Pat played it great. What else? We have a butt ton of questions to get to. It is
Yep.
late here in Connecticut. I just literally walked off of a baseball field, drove an hour, and here we are. And we're gonna talk some hero clicks.
Sounds good to me. We had WWE previews, but I don't think we're gonna go through all that because if you really want to, we have a lot of questions today, so
We
it's
have a
gonna take a
ton.
while.
So thank you to everybody who reached out on the Two Clicks from KO page and asked us questions. We appreciate it.
And as always, AJ will do a great job of doing his set review, so I don't feel like we need to go into too much detail on these WWE clicks. We talked about them a lot recently.
Yeah,
So.
we'll let AJ take care of that. He does a way better job of writing it than we do talking it.
Mm-hmm. True. All right. So let's dive in. Let's see here. Let's start off with a fun question. Jesse Cote wants to know:
There we go.
Will we help him move?
No, moving sucks. Where is Jesse Cote out of?
He's San Jose area.
No chance.
So he's actually not that far from me. I guess I could help him move.
That's on you then. I'm not flying. If I'm flying to the West Coast, it's not to help anybody move. It's going to be to play some hero clicks and to visit some places.
We could do that too.
Yeah, I'm gonna move like some hero clicks figures across a map. I'm not moving a couch or any of that. You're on your own, Jesse. I'm sorry, but you have zero chance for me helping you move.
He's moving somewhat closer to me.
That's on you then, man. Have fun with that. I'm not touching it.
Yeah.
Moving sucks. I'm sorry, Jesse.
Probably not gonna happen. Let's see here. Let's see if we got any Nationals questions. Here we go.
I think we do.
So Christian Bogan writes in. He says, "So now that the time is finally here, let's talk rotation." Last not Nationals, but it's close enough. What are pieces you're sad to see go? Happy to see you leave? What figures are you excited to play that you couldn't before because of bad matchups with Hawkeye Shredders, etc.? Okay, yeah, rotation. Shoot, that's 4 days?
Yeah, it's
today's the
Monday,
27th.
right?
Yep, Monday. So today's the 27th. Rotation happens Monday.
I'm glad to see it all go. Every time we get a purge, I think it's great for the game just to see a bunch of stuff go. Not gonna be upset to see Hawkeye or to see Goblin King or the Shredders. Not gonna be upset to see them go. I'm a little upset. The one figure, Jakeem Thunder. I think he got a raw deal in the last watch list, and literally it made him unplayable.
I think haha.
Oh, haha. Oh, God.
Kind of glad to see him go. I played the crap out of that figure, but he's like a blight on the world. I mean, for the entire time he's in Modern, with the exception of probably this last national championship, he has been relevant since day one. So
not being able to mastermind to him, I think, changed his dynamic a lot too. He had to be played a lot differently.
But then
when you couldn't mastermind to him.
Yeah, but then we got all these 50-point ID card characters.
Yes.
And it's like, okay, well, now he's just an ID battery. It's like before ID batteries were like 150 points or more, and now then they became 50 points. And he's like, he just doesn't die, super mobile.
He having to roll every single time too made him different.
Yeah.
It didn't make him bad. It just again, people adapted to it, and I mean, he was still relevant. He wasn't as hard to kill.
Uh-huh.
It that's I think one of the one times on a watch list it seriously balanced the figure properly, taking
Yeah.
the mastermind away and making you have to roll. It was high risk, high reward for him, but he was still amazing at 50 points. Like you said, call in battery. You still could kind of bounce him around to where he wanted to or needed to be. So
Yeah.
I'll miss him. I like Taha. It was probably one of the best Jokers we've ever had.
Like he's one of those things like it's like I hate to see you go, but I love to watch you leave. You know, kind
Hmm.
of like.
No, absolutely.
It's like it's a great figure. I play a lot of them, but it's like I'm tired of seeing them.
Yeah.
Uh, let's see here. What figures would I be excited to play
X
that
Men.
I
X Men's gonna come
couldn't?
back.
But I mean, they were relevant. It's not like they were bad to play before.
Yeah, but Hawkeye. Once the Proxima Spear came out and people were really pushing Hawkeye, it deterred anybody from playing any kind of X Men Swarm teams.
I mean, I guess. I feel like people just don't want to do the preparation that's necessary. Like thinking about like PJ's team, right? So
Hmm.
for nationals, PJ, if you talk to him about his team, like he put so much time and effort and thought into that team and every single matchup that he could possibly think of, he had a game plan for.
Yeah,
I mean, it's not like the team is so autopilot that it just plays itself and PJ got that far. And it's not, and I'm not saying PJ is not good, but it's not that PJ is so good that he's just that hard to beat. It's like a combination of the team is good, PJ's game plan was good, and he played very well, you know? And so I feel like people look at the Blackbird or they look at X-Men, they're like, oh, I've got to play 3 Wolverines main force and Lila Cheney and a bunch of ID cards. And it's like, there's other ways to play. Like Dupe. Dupe is an X-Men, right? And he's 35 points and has table prob,
hmm,
like actual prob, not just theme prob. And he has invincible, so he helps against shredders, and he has like the ability to rearrange opposing forces or just drop hammers out of nowhere all of a sudden, so like he does a lot of things. And people like, oh, you play 2 Moiras. I'm like, yeah, Moira's good, but you could play like something else that's not Moira.
yeah.
And so it's just half of it is like kind of lazy team building. So I don't think there's any like one figure you couldn't play before. I would say there's like the 1-man armies now that Kobik's out, like you don't really want to play so much because if Kobik is going to be so rampant in the meta, like you might not even get to play.
Well,
But
it was pointed out too by Nate and Pat Fraser that like even Lockjaw is super susceptible now. You roll a 6 and
mhm,
someone's playing Kobik Trader, your Lockjaw's gone.
yeah,
They're gonna double token him. He's gonna go away. So
yeah,
even something like that is going to make like don't die teams
yeah,
very hard to pilot, especially with Kobik out there. Um, but yeah, like you said, I mean, it all comes down to piloting and PJ prepared for his opponents. And Pat even pointed out Pat was 3-2. People going into top cut.
mm,
People like in his one of his first loss was to a completely weird team that I don't think anybody saw coming. Brian Galley from Pusheen ran a double Gardner team, and
so good.
Even Pat was like, I had no like, nope, no, I had no idea. He fielded this team. I looked at it. I was like, I have no idea what the hell. And then he was like, it was such a good team. It was,
Yeah, that Gardner's sneaky good, man. Sneaky good. I
mm-hmm,
played I played him locally in a like I say casual, but I was playing Kovic Trader and Ultra Chase Thanos. But
that's
it
not
was,
casual.
it was all I had on me. It was all I had on me.
Oh,
I had no. I
I
had
have like $600 in
I,
figures.
I brought I brought stuff to trade, and it was my box of the new set with all my super rares and chases in it, and that was all I brought. and then we played like a pickup 500-point game. So I was like, oh, all right.
And I just
And
smashed everyone, and everyone was super
but
salty.
I borrowed a gardener, and I was like, I was playing like this guy's actually like really good for
Being able to create everything and then shoot, and Gardner's good. I like
yeah,
Gardner's got some playability.
like line of fire doesn't matter,
Mm.
because he just puts that token or the special terrain
Yep.
hit at the beginning of your turn, and then he can attack through it, or he
Yep.
can like move, or he can like TK smoke cloud, be TK'd then smoke cloud, and then attack through that, and it's
Hmm.
like it's pretty sneaky
It's
good.
kind of like the old I'm trying to think. It was a Teen Titans cyborg
uh
that was able to draw lines
Through
of fire from
objects.
objects.
Mm.
So you make sure you have the objects placed out where you want them to be. So it's
Uh,
kind of almost like that, where he can create, but he's creating his own objects basically and
yeah.
being able to attack through them. Amazing. I think Gardner is going to be very. It should be looked at.
Yeah.
It should be looked at heavily. He could
I
be a game
I
changer.
think I think if there's a way to give him like free action smoke cloud, then like, and there might be, and one of the man renderings might do it. Um, then like that would be, then he could be like kind of on those Alpha Strike type teams.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? Just move forward, carrying him, free smoke cloud it within his range, and then make an attack. And he's like an 11 attack, I think.
Yeah, he's decent.
But there's a lot of good stuff, man. This set is like so good. I've been having so much fun playing it like so far. Um, we played a practice event for the regional we have this weekend, regional
Hmm.
and WKO doubleheader at Hobbytown, Fresno, Saturday at 9 a.m. Um,
Little plug,
Little
little
plug.
shameless plug.
But we had a practice event, 300 Modern, and I played Kobe Cube, Trader, Mr. Oz.
Oh, I love Mr. Oz.
Yeah, it was supposed to be Unseen and Mangog and Groot, but I forgot Mangog at home. So it was Groot, Mr. Oz, Kobe Trader, and Collector.
I was gonna say probably collector. Yeah.
Yeah, and I had one ID card, and it was Cyclops ID card, and that was it. And like the co so I played against like my brother who's playing like an aim team with Taskmaster and a bunch of aim dudes, and
Get Black Widow on that team. Tell him
uh,
that get
it,
that prime Black Widow.
he had was it aim Falcon or whatever because he could carry,
Yeah.
but so I that Kovic, I mind controlled his Falcon and his Taskmaster, moved his Taskmaster next to my Kovic, and then shot his Falcon guy with Taskmaster, and his Taskmaster had chosen Energy Shield, so it took away the Energy Shield on the Falcon,
Oh,
and
jeez.
and then so I had mind controlled him and one of the aim guys, and then I killed the Falcon with the aim guy, and then locked down his Taskmaster next to my team, and so then it was just like Collector taking pot shots, Kobik mind controlling characters to freaking kill each other.
Just feeding them in, and just killing each other.
They
Mm.
were killing each other because those things are only like 3 or 4 clicks of life, and then locking down Taskmaster until he died.
Your brother has to just hate playing you.
No, no, he was
He's just gotta be
he's
like,
like
you're just a dick.
no, he was happy because he's like, I want to see how good this team is, and I know that if I play you and your team, it's gonna bring out the best. And then he hasn't really he's kind of new back into the game,
Yeah.
so he's not really familiar with all the retaliation stuff. So the Walking Woods and then the Groot were kind of new to him. So like when he killed one of my Walking Woods, I'm like, okay, Groot's gonna retaliate, and I'll make a Walking Wood, and then I'll flurry. And he's like,
Yep.
oh, that was a
And
bad
then
idea.
and then Oz will throw a walking wood from across the map at you,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
then be able to sidestep with it basically, and then oh
yeah.
god.
Yeah, so it was like that, and then I played against what did I play? Then I played against a local Lyle who had kind of like a casual team that he had thrown together. It wasn't casual, but it was good. It was like Hulk with the Venom harness and stuff like that. And I just called in Cyclops to shoot the Venom harness, blow it up, and then he had Prime Black Panther, and he had King, Title King. So he had wanted to try Title King, and so that's why So that was an interesting figure. The bad thing about King is he doesn't have willpower. So it was like pretty much just mind controlling Hulk to beat up his other figures and then locking Hulk down after. And then the last game I played against a foot soldier, foot elite team with
Okay.
Coulson and all that. And he came, he dropped the tank on me early, and then took care of my group, my Walking Woods, and a few other characters. He did some displacement. He killed my trader, so there wasn't going to be any lockdown going on.
Oh,
I yeah, I used my collector to scoop up the relic that Trader dropped, and then like he just missed so many attacks after that. But I had so much perplex on the team. It's just like perplex defense, and then I have Kobik's prob, and I have Mr. Oz's prob, and he said he was just missing. He started missing, and it was like mind control. He used Wolverine to drop the tank. I killed the tank with collector. Mind control Wolverine, perplexed his Wolverine's damage.
oh,
Mind controlled him. Him and a foot elite. He, foot, he, Wolverine walked over, killed the foot elite. Then the other foot elite shot his um, what's it called? His Sam Cap, and then Collector shot his Sam Cap to kill her. So it was like it's just that mind control, dude. There's so much board control with that figure, and then if you're able to lock characters down, it's just even worse.
and it's going to be interesting to see if people can if they can pull off some really cool combos with like Skull or Starro with Kobik as well, and just
Yeah,
being able to eat an entire team with your opponent's entire team between
yeah.
Starro and Kobik and stuff. It's nuts. What else we got?
All right, yeah, we got to move on. Let's see here. uh, Gabriel Hopkins. I've been thinking about the return of the Fantastic Four to clicks.
Oh,
If you were to design them, what game mechanics would you incorporate into them to truly capture them as a team?
shifting focus. I would
You could do,
incorporate shifting focus. Basically, I mean, almost every single one could have a shifting focus set.
yeah.
You could have.
I think like for like Mr. Fantastic is like a plasticity guy from like 3 squares away.
He's kind of like Lashina,
Yeah, yeah,
where he
yeah,
has like that 3 range like plasticity. Uh, I mean, Sue Storm is one that she could start off, and then because she goes from being like Sue Storm to like being completely invisible. So you could
yeah.
have different shifting focuses of that. Johnny Storm, same way. He goes from Johnny Storm to like supernova Johnny Storm. So
You
you
could
could
do,
do some of them in shifting focus form, and I feel like they're probably going to to just give everyone the Fantastic Four they've been missing.
yeah. You could do like with the Sue Storm, she can have like the barrier one, right? So
Hmm.
like one children focus would be like barrier focused.
Yeah.
Another one could be like defense or whatever, or like she could have like barrier and defend. Like that's a pretty good combination that makes sense because like she'll put up her invisible force fields or whatever
Absolutely.
to protect the team, and then also give that defense bump.
You could have her
Uh,
one that's like a stealth one, or can't have
yeah,
lines of fire drawn to her, but she's very offensive as well because you can't see her. Johnny
yeah,
Storm the same way. You could have him kind of be a support piece on like one, and then have one be very just pulse wave because it's Johnny Storm.
yeah,
I think we're gonna see a lot of retroactive Fantastic Four as well, like we've talked about before, because there are so many sets that we've seen made, and the Fantastic Four are humongous parts of those sets, and they weren't there at all.
yeah,
So like Battle World for one, like no God Doom, no Fantastic Four. Dating all the way back to the zombies, to when we had the zombie chases and stuff. Like
Mm.
the Fantastic Four are the ones that basically opened that portal to open our, the one realm to the zombie outbreak and stuff. No
Yeah.
Fantastic Four really for that. So they could. There's so much stuff in the Fantastic Four
Even the
universe.
Illuminati set that just came
Absolutely,
out.
we're missing
There's
so much.
Battle World, Illuminati. Like there's just. I mean, you can
You
go
can go
just
on
those two
probably,
sets.
and they're huge,
Yeah.
especially with Reed being one of the Illuminati members.
Yeah.
And I mean, oh, could you imagine him coming in with what was it, the nullifier? What was it called?
Ultimate Nullifier.
Ultimate nullifier. Like that could have been a great special object for this Illuminati set.
Yeah.
He could have been a chase with the ultimate nullifier.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
I
a lot of
I
things they
think
can do.
I think for me, I just really like to see like a starter set, with all of them.
Yes. Alicia
That
Masters Pog, like old school Alicia Masters Pog.
yeah, I mean, but like like there's every so often there's a starter set where there's like that one figure that's like super good, and then like Chaos Force, Fast Forces, Scarlet Witch, um, Giant Girl, Hulk. So like make sure you have at least that one figure that's like really good in the set.
Make them all good.
No, I
Just
understand. Yes, make them
make
all
them
good,
all
but
good. Make it a starter set too. Give us a really good Fantastic format. Give us the Baxter Building, and then give us like Yancey Street again or
you could
something.
give us like Yancey Street, or you could give us like it could even be like Reed's Lab
That's what I'm
and
saying. Like that.
Johnny's Garage,
Oh, you
right?
can even do like Latveria, Doom's
Sure.
Castle.
Yeah. Just don't do that stupid walls that you can't break. Whatever map. Remember the old Latveria Castle?
Yes, it was bad. It
That's
was
bad.
it was
Anyway,
bad. Not
so
not good.
there's a lot, man. There's like way too many options. I used to do custom dials on HC Realms a while back, and I did like a wild dial Doom. So it was like Doom, and then he had like his Doom bots, kind of like the Loki from
Uh,
Mighty. So it'd be
we
like
need
that.
those too. We need Doom bots again. Multiple
Yeah,
different Doom bots
yeah.
too.
So you do like how Loki is from Mighty Thor,
Hmm.
right? You have the one that's like 60 points or whatever, 65 points, and then you have the little 20-point dudes or whatever they are. And so you just do Doom like that with all the little Doom bots as the lower point guys.
I could
They
see
just
a
say,
Latveria map with Doom bot pogs,
yeah, you can
kind
do
of
that.
Like Iron Man's map.
Yeah, be fun. You think we'll see Unimind at Worlds?
Yes,
Of course,
there's no reason not. I mean, there is a reason. It's Kobik,
but
but
just don't
people
play.
are going to learn. People are going to figure out. Like you're not going to be able to play Don't Die really with Unimind. You're going to have to adapt and make him a little more aggressive, and
Mhm.
try and get rid of Kobik, or have something to play with Unimind instead of like a Lockjaw to be able to counter Kobik. People are going to figure it out. People are going to find a way to counter Kobik.
I mean, the thing with Kobik is like poison. Poison just kills her.
Hmm.
It's like, and or even Shredders can really give her a hard time. Oh, of
They're
course, Shredders won't be legal at
they're
World, but
they're gone.
I know. But I'm just saying, for example, at Nationals, I'm pretty sure some people were playing Shredders.
Michael Love
Michael Love.
yeah.
Um, Micah, boy,
He'll
Micah is
be
a
at. Oh no,
source.
he won't be at Worlds because they won't have
Micah,
Magic there.
Micah was a source of some controversy, man. Let me tell you. But anyway, we'll
I
get into
don't.
that maybe.
Oh, is this the whole like trading off like Ellie's and
There was that, and then there was the which I didn't even know about. And then no, on the Shots Fire page, there's like a long discussion about Micah's top four or top whatever, top 32 match, where I guess he made a what he calls a verbal blunder.
the Paris brought it up.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's just
I'm
like I
not
see.
not even gonna get into it. It's not even
No,
worth time. It's
not as far as that goes, but it is an interesting question as far as um, like taking stuff back. Like how far, what is acceptable, what's unacceptable. But we'll see if we have time. We might get into that.
Well, if we get, we'll see how late we run, and
Yeah.
we'll touch on that.
But yeah, of
Put a
course you
pin in
see
it.
Unimind.
Put a pin in
Yeah,
it.
put a pin in that.
Put a pin in it.
Yeah, of course Unimind will be at Worlds, though. That's crazy.
Yes, absolutely. People have sunk way too much time into Unimind to just back out now.
I would be excited to see some other stuff though. Some like Medusas, some.
That's the cool thing about Illuminati. This Illuminati set, they
Stuff
literally
stuff,
almost
stuff,
hit
stuff.
every single archetype that's very playable right now in this set.
Yeah.
You've got lockdown, mind control. You have alpha strikes. You have board control. You have almost like some don't die in there. Like it's probably one of the most complete sets I've ever seen, from common to super rares to chases. Except for Starbrand. You have to have that one crap figure. Starbrand is that.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a $5 chase here soon.
Fantastic and sealed.
Yes, great and sealed. Everything else, he's a poop
Duty,
sandwich.
Duty.
Poop
Oh
sandwich.
man.
And like, yeah, when you opened it up, I pulled a Starbrand.
Oh man.
Like, I've never heard anybody so depressed of pulling a chase in a sealed event.
Here was the thing. The booster was noticeably heavy, and so I got kind of excited thinking it might be Thanos. And so then when I opened, I was like, "Oh, Starbrand."
You open it up, and you're like, ugh. You would have been more excited if it was Lockjaw than if it was Starbrand.
Oh, for sure, I would have. I love that piece. Lockjaw's amazing.
I just got him because I want to play Medusa.
Medusa Oblongata.
Alpha Strike, absolutely. I want to play an Alpha Strike team with Medusa.
There's something wrong with his Medusa Oblongata.
Yep, just so many hairs. Everywhere. All right, next question. We're drowning.
With all the awesome previews we're getting for X-Men anime series, we'll be disappointed if we don't get a Colossal Apocalypse. I mean that he wasn't part of that saga. So you have to understand this is like centered on the Dark Phoenix saga. So he wasn't part of that.
I mean, well, they're labeling it as the animated series. He was in the animated series.
Sure.
I mean, no, I'm not. I'm still waiting for the Age of Apocalypse.
Yeah.
Like, there's a reason why we haven't seen. There's a reason why we haven't seen him. So,
I for sure thought he was gonna be a Con Ellie. I for sure thought he was gonna be a Con Ellie, the Age of Apocalypse one.
He's hanging out with that Swamp Thing. They're still waiting to drop.
So what I'm wondering is if it wasn't something to do with like the whole Sony and Disney and all that stuff. I'm sure it has to do something.
It has to be. There has to be some reason that he. I mean, come on. They had the Age of Apocalypse movie come out. We've had multiple Age of Apocalypse chase sets. We've had many opportunities to get him, and they haven't given it to us. Right. There has to be a reason why. I know there's a lot of I talk about a lot. There's so much negativity. There is great stuff in the community, and then there's also just a lot of people who are just they make it seem like WizKids is doing stuff on purpose just to screw them over personally. I assure you they're not.
Yeah.
WizKids is in the business of making money, and they know for a fact that the biggest things that are going to sell is going to be Apocalypse, Fantastic Four, Doctor Dooms, and stuff. Like, trust me, they want to give you this stuff. They just can't do it. So
like, did you hear Patrick's like figures he would want to make? It was like Silver Surfer, Doctor Doom. It's like, yeah, along with everyone else.
Like, yeah, absolutely. Do you think that like anybody who has ever won haven't been like, I want to make a really cool Silver Surfer, and they were probably like, nah, you can't do that. Like, nah, we can't.
Or Doctor Doom, yeah.
Or Doom, or any Doom on the board again, like we had before. Like, do you think that nobody has ever been like, yeah, I want to make a cool Apocalypse? Yeah, we can't do that. What else? What's your second choice? Or what's your third choice? Like, how about we just give you a list of stuff and you pick one, okay?
That's what we're gonna do. This is the figures we're gonna make anyways. We'll just put your name on one.
We'll sneak you in there somewhere. We'll
No,
we'll consult you on some designs.
I don't think it's quite that bad, but
No, absolutely not. But again, like WizKids is in the business of making money.
yeah.
They're not withholding stuff from us on
No,
purpose
no.
to be like, bah, I gotcha. Like, give them, you gotta, like, this is the healthiest the game's ever been. Give them some damn credit, and they're trying. I
For
guarantee you they're
Christ's
trying.
sake, we're getting worlds outside of a con, in the middle of the country.
Literally, if it was any more in the middle of the country, I can't even tell you. Like, when you look it up on a map, it's
It's pretty
almost
smack dab.
completely squared in the middle. I think square in the middle would probably be like Iowa or something
With
ridiculous. Not
with
gonna
an international airport.
yes, Memphis has an international airport. So come on, Brazil, let's go, Pedro and Tiago.
Yeah.
I know it's not as international. I know it's not like Florida
Or
it's
New
Memphis.
York.
Yeah, but hey, it's gonna be a good time. I can tell you right now, Worlds. That was a question that someone tossed around. I saw on one of the pages today. Do you think Worlds is going to flop? No, I
Oh,
don't think Worlds is going to flop.
heck
I think
no.
Worlds is going to be very healthy. There's going to be a lot of drunken Southern people, juggernaut, just walking aimlessly around a hotel with bourbon in hand. It's going to be, yeah, I think it's going to be a great time. And I
All
might.
right. Um, Zach Strong says he wishes he could make it down for the event this weekend. Hope it goes well. Thank you. I think you're lying because you should come. No, I'm just kidding. He says with OMAs a huge risk to play going forward. Thanks to Kovic and Trader. What becomes the best team for new players?
Uh, we just covered that. Kobik, yes, makes one man armies very. You're not going to see a 275 point Unimind again. If you do, you're running a risk of almost being Fausted. So I think 275 Unimind is a thing of the past. New players, I mean, you can put anything in a new player's hands. It's just the way that you teach them. Don't go nuts on the nuances and the small things. Give them pieces they enjoy. If they're big X-Men fans, give them X-Men stuff. If they're big Avengers fans, give them Avengers stuff. And just keep it simple.
Mm-hmm.
And then just walk them through or have them sit next to you. And then just make sure it's like a casual game and then explain to them this is what I'm doing. Have them hold the pack so you can explain to them what the powers do and everything and have them ask questions. There's no dumb questions.
What about like Fast versus Hulk? You know what I mean? It's pretty simple, right?
Yeah.
You move him and he makes an attack.
Absolutely. Why does he do that? Because it says it on his card. Like
Yeah.
it's like that's probably that's why they make fast forces. That's literally why the
Or
name is called
starter.
fast
That
forces.
was actually a starter. That was not even
Yeah,
a fast forces.
because
It's literally a starter.
you can literally it's called fast forces because you can literally make fast forces to play out of them. So yeah, get them a fast forces or something they enjoy. Give them a box of stuff that you have that you're just sitting there. We all know everyone's got 1,000 commons and uncommons and stuff kicking around. Give them a handful of stuff and play something fun. Play a popper.
Now
With them.
if you're asking about like figures to be played for like somewhat experienced players but new to competitive, like you could like look at like your Daredevils, you know.
I wouldn't know.
I mean, Daredevil's pretty straightforward, you know.
It is.
Like
Just the wording is wonky with the
the
sixes.
word is wonky, but you explain to them how it works, and then they know. You know what I mean? Like
Absolutely.
it's not a big, you know. Like you put Venom harness on him, you take a free action when you're ready to attack. You take the free action to pump the Venom harness. He gets +1 to his values till the end of your turn. It's not that is not considering how complicated the game. It's a pretty simple concept to grasp.
I mean, yeah, I guess.
And then you just build your basic support around Daredevil. He's mystical. You could do that. You
Alex
know what I mean?
Wilder.
Alex Wilder. If it was who's an uncommon, and
Yep.
Daredevil is only about $10. $10-15.
Hmm.
So it's not like an expensive team. You got to get the Venom harness, which you can probably borrow
Or just
from.
yeah, or just put together the team for them and
Sure.
be like, "This is what I've built for you. Let me explain how it works.
Yeah.
Let's walk through some games
Yeah.
and
It's something
go from
something
there."
that's not. I mean, Daredevil's not gonna just run out there and get smoked in one turn. I mean, he could, but it's not
There's
likely.
potential, but yeah,
Yeah. It is
put a
something that
Shazam
has a
on
little.
there, something fun.
Yeah.
There's options, but don't just here you go and just throw them out there. You got to sit with the person, walk
Yeah.
them through some stuff.
Let's see. Jason Lamandera says, "Not sure if you two have seen this, but what is your opinion about the fact that it looks like WizKids repainted other items and figures to make the Ultra Chase Thano and Ego Gem? There are pics in this thread to illustrate what they did, and it seems like it's happened to quite a few people. They decided to print more last minute, or is this just a cost-cutting measure? I know you don't know the mind of WizKids employee, but just curious on your thoughts." And he links to HC Realms, which is always kind of scary.
It's
uh,
literally it's like almost going into the HeroClix dark web.
Yeah. So
That's
it's
how
like
far HC Realms either using it for units or you're using it for the dark web purposes of
yeah.
of HeroClix.
So I've seen three Thanos chases now. All three of his ego gems are painted over reality or time gems. If you look closely at their bases, I just got my Thanos. And his dial doesn't even have points on it or Mystics TA, and it's clearly painted over something else that had improved something. Anyone else have seen these QA issues? Where do you get yours? That sounds like forgery, not quality control. Quit buying from China. MAGA. One came out of a factory set from Origins. The other straight out of a booster. The Gemma and the Sculptor are legit. You're screwed. All your opinions will call. Yeah, let's see here. I'm looking for pictures. Sorry.
I was gonna say, don't even stop reading the comments. You're just going down. You're spiraling
Well,
down
I'm
a
just
rabbit
feel. I'm
hole.
just feeling air. I'm feeling air
You're
here.
gonna
Okay.
just spiral down a rabbit hole of just
All right.
a cesspool of negativity.
All right. Let's see. Here's a picture. You see it?
Okay,
Let's see here.
it's load buffering.
Jesus. Okay. So Thanos. Okay. Looks fine to me.
What am I missing?
I don't know.
It looks fine.
Okay. Let's go back. Uh. Okay. Yeah.
Still looks fine.
Looks kind of funky, but all right.
I mean,
I mean, okay.
maybe it hit the printer a certain way. The unique ring still looks fine.
I mean, I'm not sure what this is supposed to be.
No,
Let's see
it's
if there's
fine.
let's see if there's other pictures. Let's see.
I mean, the only thing I can think of is that not every time something gets put through is it completely flawless. So maybe there are some imperfections on some of the dials because of the machine that does the printing or whatever the case may be. Maybe the calibration was off, but like I don't.
Okay, it says like
Okay,
mist.
it's missing the Mystic's ability.
Look,
It's
and
on the
there's points here painted over.
again. Maybe the calibration was off.
It could be. I mean, look, if you're gonna pull like an Ultra Chase Thanos and be upset about it, that's on you, bro.
But
I
what
mean,
is
I don't know.
WizKids gonna tell you? They were gonna tell you go by what's
So,
on the card.
they're gonna say, look, you want to replace it? That's sorry, we don't do that.
What
Ego
am
Gym
I
finish.
what am I
Dude,
missing? Yeah, I
it
all
says
right.
Ego Gym Infinity Gym. Like, bro, look at all this glue. Okay, so either you bought something janky, or this is the truth, and it's a QA, it's a quality control thing, and you go off with the card. What's the problem? Like, you know
Or
what I
you
mean?
bought some bootleg ass stuff off eBay.
Yeah.
There's
But
all right. There's something to the story that is not there, or it's legit just a quality.
just got my Ego Gem under Serious Light, and it used to be an Infinity Gauntlet. Okay. You know what? Now you people got me upset.
Now he's gonna go and look at his own stuff to see if it's got flaws.
Jesus.
All right, well, get off the HC realms.
All right, let's get off the
It's
HC.
just
Back to my beautiful.
just get out of that rabbit hole of negativity.
Yeah, let's do that. I hadn't seen it. I saw the thread kind of like casually passing through realms because I was looking for the dials and evidence section, right?
Yeah.
Close that. And then I'm not sharing screen anymore, am I?
No, you're good.
Okay. And so I was like looking at the dial. I was looking for the dials and evidence section, and I couldn't find it. So I scrolled down to the bottom, like one does, and I saw that there, and I was just like, you know? Oh, that's odd. That was like my thought. I was like, oh, that's odd, and then that was that. I was like, I don't actually care. You know what I mean?
It's just, I mean,
I'm curious.
Contact their quality control. Contact their replacement program. If it's gonna bother you, yeah, then contact their replacement program. Show them. From what I understand, and I've seen a couple people who have had some success stories as of lately because they came out and said we're going to be trying harder to do things. All you have to do, I'm pretty sure, is show them a proof of purchase. Show them what I mean. Someone had an entire booster that had no cards, and I think there was a chase in it. And they showed them the purchase, they showed them the booster, and they responded back to them quickly and said, "Give us a list of all the figures in the booster, and we will send you out cards." So if you have the booster and all of that stuff in it, and you can prove that it came that way, I'm pretty sure they'll try and work with you on it. If you bought it bootleg from China off of eBay or something like that,
yeah,
you're putting your own life in your own hands at that point in time.
So it looks like the gym has like extra paint and glue on it. So I could see. I don't know if you can see that
I
or
can't
not.
see nothing, bro. All right, you see a little bit there. Towards the end, you can once it focuses.
So you can see a little bit. So it's not like that bad. And then the Thanos, there's no like extra like anything. That's like a cleanly stamped Thanos. So I'm thinking probably just an issue with the stamp machine, and on some of them, maybe the reality gem or time gem, since those are on rares, right?
Yeah.
Maybe they were shorted ego gem prints, and so they're like, look, worst case scenario, we'll repaint these time and realities.
Yep.
I don't know.
And then we're gonna restamp it and go from there.
Yeah, I mean, look,
You have the cards.
Shit happens.
You have the cards, and this is power gem or ego gem on it. You're good to go. Like,
yeah. I mean, yeah, you're fine, dude. Like, you're good. Anyway, that sucks. I guess there's some people that are like, they get bent out of shape about stuff like that. I get it. Oh, I lost the questions. I get it, but you know what? Whatever. You get over it, I guess. Let's see here. Who would you like to see as an LE next? Like Con LE? We'll say Con LE.
Swamp Thing.
Swamp Thing.
We get one of these questions that are very similar every single time.
Yeah,
I think
unanimous.
We have answers every time. I want a new DC Ares, and I want a Swamp Thing. I want the cool Swamp Thing that has like the big like moss wings. And
I,
they've already canceled the TV show too, which pisses me off as
I,
well.
I would take like New Venom where he has like wings.
Yes.
I mean, I've been up on that series. I'm only missing number two. So let's
I
see
want
here.
I want a Joaquin Phoenix Joker.
There you go. How dare you?
I think that movie is gonna be amazing. I
It
think
could be. It could be. Who knows?
everyone is always gonna have the Joker debate on who's the best. They shouldn't do it. This and that. I think Joaquin Phoenix is gonna nail it, man. I think he's gonna kill it.
He's weird enough to pull it off. We'll see.
Absolutely,
Uh,
absolutely.
McConnell Lamar. This is what do you think is the most underrated and overrated figure of the Illuminati set? Oof.
Overrated figure, Ultra Chase Thanos.
Top
I'm
eight,
s-
top eight,
I
Bubba.
I called it only one. Everyone was like, "Oh, it's gonna win. It's gonna this." I said, "You're gonna
I
probably
didn't
only
think it was
see
gonna win.
one in the top 8." And I was just being generous too, because I knew somebody was gonna be. Shout out to Brad Milburn, like somebody was gonna be good
Like a
enough
boss. Like a
to
boss
pilot
up
that
there.
bitch to a top 8. And
Yep.
Brad didn't disappoint. He got him in there. Good for him. But I think like people like. Do you remember when people like? He's gonna break the game. He's so great. He's gonna like. And
I didn't
maybe
see
after
anybody say
rotation,
that.
maybe what's that?
I didn't see anybody say that.
Yo, I saw many
Was I
people
living
be like,
under a
no,
rock for like a
Ed
month?
Shelton said it
No,
in the
yeah.
round table. Ed Shelton was
Ed
like,
Shelton
this is
also said Hulk was the must-have figure from Mighty Thor.
he was like, yo, like Ultra Chase Thanos is broken. And it's I maybe he's gonna see a lot more play after rotation, but Kobik is the real deal out of that, man.
Oh,
Kobik
I
is
mean,
probably the most underrated that was out of that set.
no
People saw
way.
people slept on it. People saw it and was like, yeah, it's good. You can do this and that. But
No way was there that
nobody
many
could have said
Kobiks at
that.
Nationals and she was underrated.
That's my point, though, is that no one ever on any podcast, on any page,
Oh,
nobody was like, there's going to be 50 Kobik teams that are going to go out there and crush. Everybody was all in on Ultra Chase Thanos.
I
And then you
didn't
like, top 32, and it's like half the field is Kobik.
I didn't
People
think
said
there
it
would
was
be
good.
as many Kobik as there were.
There was, I think
I,
in top 8, there was like 4, wasn't there?
yeah, I didn't think there was being as many as there were. Don't get me wrong, but I knew she. I mean, we talked around this show. She's good. She was obviously good.
She's good, but people, my opinion was that the underrated. People knew that she was good, but we didn't know she was that good. And then people went out there and
You know what
piloted
it was? It was
very
Trader though.
well.
It was Trader. Trader was the sleeper on that team.
Trader is probably also another sleeper one.
Yeah.
We knew Collector was good.
Yeah.
He didn't go out there and disappoint.
Yeah.
We knew Kobik was good, but we didn't know that the Kobik Trader was going to be as strong as it was. So yes, I would say, all right, then I would rephrase it as Trader is probably the most underrated figure that came out of the set.
Even Zach Strong, who comments on here, I was like, it was Saturday, so it was before the top 8 of Nationals. I played Kobik Trader, and I came home and I was like, dude, Kobik Trader is disgusting. It's so unfair. And he was like, really? Like, Trader doesn't seem that good to me. He's like, is it just the double lockdown? I was like, yeah,
Yes.
just the double lockdown.
Yes.
That's a lot. Like, if you think about it.
Because you can do it every single turn.
Especially like Trader, you start him with Space Gym and he can carry. You start him with Reality Gym and he can TK. It's like he can TK himself up next to someone if he wants, or like if Kobik got extended or something.
Or you can just throw her right out there. Just throw Kobik right into it to lock down.
You can even just TK her that 2 square space, right?
Mm-hmm.
Just enough for her to mind control someone next to you, and then token swap token.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And like just little small things make a
attack,
huge
move, token, swap token.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's super crazy.
Next turn, mind control again.
Yeah,
move,
but like
attack.
I said, you give him the Space Gym and he carries her.
Yep.
And he's got sidestep and 8 movement. It's crazy.
And then you put Mr. Oz out there with him too, just in case you need the extra prob,
Yeah.
perplex. I think he's got perplex, and then the extra TK.
No perplex.
No,
Just
it's prob and outwit.
It's prob with 12 squares.
I thought it was out. I thought he has outwit and perplex as well.
No, it's prob with 12 squares and he ignores like everything.
Yeah, I know that was one of the abilities. I thought he also had the other two. I could be wrong.
I don't know.
Who cares?
It doesn't matter. What are your thoughts on Chase Cap or Chase Red Skull being meta pieces after rotation?
I could see Cap.
I just don't think, man, Cap for at 150 points. That's like you're running into that same Unimind problem. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. He doesn't have willpower, but he gets it. So he that's actually an interesting thought because you can give him the gauntlet that gives him power cosmic, right?
He comes with it, yeah.
But Kobik can't take that away. Because it's not printed.
Because it's not on his dial, it's from the gauntlet.
Yeah. That's interesting.
It doesn't gain power cosmic. He can use, I think, power cosmic.
Well, no, but Kobik specifically says printed, I believe.
Yes. Yeah, you're right. He's got the probability control.
Printed, on the other character instead of own printed team abilities. Yeah. So it has to be printed. So that's an interesting thought. So then, like, yeah, you can lock him down.
Mm-hmm.
But then it's like, then what? I guess you just attack him.
Or you try.
And you try.
He can absorb a lot of damage because he's only taking one damage.
And then you got retaliators or whatever, you know.
Yep. So, especially if Avengers is still going to be strong. You're still going to have giant girls.
Giant girls
waiting in the wings there.
He's soldier, I think.
Yep.
Let's see. Captain America. Yeah, I mean, I think like it's not like an auto loss because you still have another half of your team, right?
Yeah, if you can put enough around him. Again, he's Avengers.
He's Avengers, Illuminati, and Soldier.
So there's pretty good soldiers out there. We're losing probably the best with Sam Cap, but I think there's still enough Avengers and Soldier out there to put. I mean, even with all those all the new aim guys can help him a little bit.
And you know what? He can choose poison from that gauntlet.
So go ahead, lock me down.
Yeah, lock me down, just poison you.
I'll stay right next to you and just poison you.
Yeah. He gets 6 poisons.
So I mean, if you really want to sink 150 points into Cap, I think he's playable. I mean, people were playing the 150-point Captain Marvel Chase and winning and doing well with her.
She's got a very high numbers and very
caps aren't too bad either.
Yeah, it's true.
He's got that range combat expert. He can knock you literally to a whole different map.
Yeah.
So and even then too, yeah. If like you're trying to get close to him and he hits you, he's like, nah, you can go ahead and go back to your starting area.
Yeah.
Try again next turn. Wham! Not back to your starting area. Out of here.
Now, Red Skull is actually an interesting thing too because you can play him with those aim figures. I think.
Yep.
He's got very high numbers again. I played against one and it was kind of like obnoxious trying to hit that 19, and then with all the perplexes from the little aim dudes. So you could be spending your time just killing these aim dudes because you're tired of the perplex, and then the whole time he's wailing on you, and he could potentially pull tokens off of himself.
Yep, again, I've already mentioned her too. You play him with Black Widow.
Yeah,
and defense power and just smashing. You're smashing.
And you could do either cube with him also, so that's a big relevant thing. Let's see here. Ernie says, can Thanos Ultra Chase really hold its own in a meta scene? Top 8, probably not winning, but top 8, sure.
Again, like I just pointed out, I think you probably see him played more after rotation. It's all gonna depend on what the next couple sets look like, and what starts shaping into how this new competitive play is going to mold out.
But I mean, like it's like okay, you have big cosmic figure, unseen, right? Like that's a pretty Kobik.
Is
Watch not
Unseen
as.
good?
Is he?
Is he
Me.
that good?
Let me ask. Where's PJ?
Is Unseen even that good? I mean, he has no attack.
Okay. But that's the common theme, right? Big beefy figure that's over 100 points that has cosmic, unseen Groot, right? That's like your
Unseen Group.
cosmic. That's
Mr.
your
Oz
cosmic
probably is gonna get
package.
squeezed in there too now.
You could. I mean, if it's Kobik, you probably do like trader or collector. If it's like Thanos, you're doing like unseen Groot and like maybe a Flora or and some ID cards.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and like a remaker ring probably just
Yep.
for an extra shape change. So it's not like it's not the thing is people don't understand it's not just Thanos doing it because Thanos can take away power cosmic, right? And then you have unseen that has this big range outwit that sees through almost everything.
Mm-hmm.
Kobe can take away power cosmic, and then you have those outwit to lock down. And then unseen as prob, he helps protect you against these colossal retaliations. Um, like Thanos has very high numbers. If you have the very high numbers that are perplexed up, and then they're retaliating against you and getting the negative numbers, things are not looking good for you. So, like, can he hold his own? Sure, but I don't think he's like the figure to beat.
No.
Matty G wants to know if either of us will be at Worlds. I will not. I have other stuff going on in my life that I can't go.
There's a good chance I might be there to make sure you don't get mugged.
There you go.
Even though I'm still hoping you do.
And then Matt Donham says, follow up, if Ares goes, how much better will he place than Matt? The Matty G.
I mean, I've already proven in one Worlds that I can outperform him. I'm sure I can do it again.
Minimum one spot higher, right? That's the
At
idea.
least.
Yeah.
I'm putting $1, Bob. I'm gonna go $1, Bob.
$1.
Actual retail price without going over is.
Yeah. Brian Poling says, with the death of OMAs, we'll see solid return of swarm teams, or do you think people will try and make tent poles with support work still? I mean, yeah, we've went over this a couple times now. I think, you can play your big beefy figures with some support, but it has to be good, worthwhile support. You have
Absolutely.
to put some thought into your teams, and the thing is, people knew about Kobik, but they didn't know about Trader. I don't think they did, but it's like
the swapping. It was the swapping double token that people kind of I think were caught their pants down. Like, oh.
And Easton, so Easton didn't play Trader, right? He played Collector, and
Yes.
we knew about Collector. So the evidence is there that those figures are good, but you also have to be a good player. It's like there's no substitute for good players. You're not gonna put together a magical team that just automatically wins all of a sudden. That's not gonna. There's no substitute for playing well.
The figures are not going to combo themselves like a Magic deck.
Yes.
Where all you have to do is cast, boom, boom, and okay, it just does. No, it's and I get to Magic people. There's gonna be Magic people. Well, you have to draw into these and this. And yeah, I get that, but
the odds of drawing those cards.
It's pretty much just auto. I know if I play this card and then play this card, I win. Yeah. There's nothing like that in HeroClix because you still have to roll dice and you still have to have battle strategy. There is no automatic win.
Best way to counter Kobik Trader lockdown strategy. We talked about a few. Randy says a lot of attacks. That's also true.
That's it. Just try and get through Kobik.
PJ played a team that can get through it, right? He has 1 million attacks in one turn.
Yeah, and I think he beat Brad with
that's Thanos.
Yes, but again though, same thing though. He had to hit a humongous number. He had 1 million attacks and was able to get it done.
And I imagine he beat a number of Kobiks at some point in nationals.
I'm sure he ran into one or two.
Yeah.
And literally was like, all right, I just have to get there and I have to just roll my ass off. And he did.
David Cologne says, "What's up, guys? What are your thoughts on ABPI invasion in the game? Were you surprised to see Vulture and Hawkeye win a nationals?" So the impact of Black Panther set is very impressive, but not unexpected.
No,
Like we knew it. Like we've been saying since first preview, this set's insane. It's totally insane.
by the way, we had the first preview.
By the way, we had the first
Just
preview.
dropping that out there. The first preview.
Just throwing that out there.
Just making sure people remember. It feels like it was so long ago too.
Yeah, it kind of was. Like
and now the Nationals is gone, and we're like,
it was almost 3 months ago.
I mean, the buildup for this set has been huge.
Yeah.
And every time, it wasn't even like, you know how sometimes you have a set and you have a preview and you're kind of like, about the preview.
Yeah.
Black Panther never had that preview where you were like, Every time there was a preview, you was like, oh, damn, another gem, another good figure. This guy, he can just take everyone's objects. Look at this guy.
Yeah.
He could start with a gem, but he doesn't come with a gem. There was always good previews.
Yeah, so we dropped that first one. It's like, an Infinity Gauntlet?
Mm-hmm.
What?
And the Infinity Gauntlet. So you're like, okay, that automatically tells me there's more than one Infinity Gauntlet. And then it was like the next chaser, I think whatever it was, might have been like a cube.
It was
and it was like, can start with any cosmic cube. And we're like, okay, so there's multiple cosmic cubes now in the game.
Yeah.
So every preview was good for it. We knew the splash was coming. We just didn't know how big the cannonball was.
Sure.
And it was a big cannonball.
So were you just surprised to see the winning team though?
I was. I thought Hawkeye would have done really good and Vulture would have done really good. I didn't see the peanut butter and jelly of Hawkeye and Vulture together. And I hats off to Pat. He played a damn good game. And he played his game. He ran into a couple of bad matchups in Swiss. He got in on the bottom. I think he was still in the 20s though. But again, and this kind of goes back to why there was so much hubbub about Worlds, where a guy who was outside of 16 makes it into the cut and then runs the gauntlet and smashes his way to a title.
Yeah.
And never once did he go outside of himself. He knew his game plan. He knew what he had to do, and he went out there and played his ass.
He had a lot of points for his number of losses.
Yes.
But I'll say I wasn't surprised because we talked about it a little bit shortly after it happened, but I had to run a local Winamap for the Winamap League, and shout out to Robert Gallagher, who won that event playing Vulture and Hawkeye together. And he had, he had the did he have gas can? I don't think he had gas canister because he had used it on a different team already that he won with. But he played them together, and it was not, like I watched him go through teams without the octopus arms. I watched it, and we talked about it. I was like, look, it's really neat. It's a really good team because Vulture can get up there early, and whatever he doesn't kill, Hawkeye can clean up. Or if you don't, or you can just like throw Hawkeye out there, get some attacks on, and he was never like one-shotting anybody with Hawkeye. Nothing big anyways. You can kill things with Hawkeye, and then you can actually afford to leave him out there because next turn Vulture can come with octopus arms and just clean house.
He kind of used Hawkeye to set up to kind of like clear
the bait.
He's
the bait. Yeah,
he basically went out there. I'm gonna clear. He was like the fullback. I'm gonna clear the hole for you, and then Vulture came up afterwards as the running back and just cleaned up house.
Yeah, and we talked about it after the event. We were like, look, I don't know why more people aren't playing this. It's smart.
We're not playing it now because it's gone.
Sure.
But, to be honest, how many other... Do we even know if anybody else ran a Vulture Hawkeye team?
Probably just Patrick and Robert.
That's what I'm saying. Like, that's why it was so surprising, just for the fact that, like, nobody else was playing it. It was really just kind of like maybe one or two people.
You know what I think it is? Like, do you play any other like games like where it's like I play Hearthstone, right? And there's a deck in Hearthstone where uh, it's a priest deck. You get like these characters with like really small attacks and really high defense. But there's cards you can play to like double the defense or like make it higher and then swap with the attack. So like what it is like I think people see like Vulture or Hawkeye and they're like I can do a 15 attack and a 6 damage and hit twice and I can do all this damage and they get so obsessed with the number of damage from the one figure like look at how much damage I could do that they forget like well if that figure dies you still have to play the entire rest of the game. So they're like they get so fixated on this one thing that they forget like okay well how can maybe I don't need to swing flurrying for 6 I can flurry for 4
Yep.
but also have this backup plan, you
I
know.
don't need all of my eggs in one basket.
Yeah, and
Or
I
maybe
think
I
people just
should
get
do it because I need a fallback plan.
yeah, I think people just get really really carried away with that.
Yeah.
All right.
Also, what we saw kind of with the original Vulture builds. It was him, Big Tony, and it
Big
was all
Tony.
centralized about getting the octopus arms and getting Vulture out there doing humongous damage. And if it fails, it's kind of like, oh shit, now what do I do?
Yeah.
Like I just shot my shot and now here I am.
Yeah.
Vulture's about to get smashed up now. I've got no backup plan.
Yeah.
Hawkeye was that backup plan, and
I think
Pat ran it well.
I think like if you look at Hawkeye teams, it was like Hawkeye Star Fox. So you still had like that Star Fox
Yes,
fallback,
but
right? So
but kind of was still the same thing though. I'm
yeah,
gonna boof. I'm gonna beef up Hawkeye. I'm gonna shoot my shot, and then if it fails, oh
I can
crap,
flurry.
Hawkeye's gonna probably get killed. Now I gotta try and like regroup, retaliate, and kind of get Star Fox out there.
Hmm.
But at that point in time, Star Fox isn't moving and attacking. Probably you
Right.
probably don't have Mjolnir on him. So now you're kind of like, uh-oh, I'm in panic mode with a guy
He's
who's not that mobile.
he's slower. Is what it
Exactly,
is. He's
absolutely.
slower.
Now it's going to
He's
take me 2 turns to get out there, and then next turn attack. It slows down everything.
for sure.
Now you put them together, different ball game.
Yeah. We've got a question from David Mazer. Mazer. Or he doesn't have a question, but he wanted to put an idea out into the Clicks universe. He says it would be awesome to have a new type of resource, a map control resource. Be something like Eagle the Living Planet and would work as a resource on your sideboard and have similar effects like the Mattery Ranger Ring. I think it's a cool idea and was interested in hearing your thoughts. So it sounds kind of like Battlefield Conditions.
I was going to say it's like an order, yeah.
It's interesting. I think like the thing with maps is they're already probably the most broken thing in the game. Like if you ask Adam Friedman, he'll tell you they are, for the most part. Because generally speaking, maps cost 0 points.
Yes.
And now they cost 5 if you want to play locations.
Yes.
It's like, and there are so many times where, above all else, what map you're on decides whether you win or lose the game.
Depending.
I mean, look, if you have equal players, one team does better on map A, one team does better on map B, and the team that's playing on its map is the one that has the advantage.
Absolutely. But again, as we pointed out with something like PJ, you also should be building your team that it's not just being able to play on one map.
Sure.
Like, yes, it's great that if I win, I get to pick Iceberg Lounge and my seals can go ahead and steal your objects.
Yeah.
But I also have a backup plan. If I lose, I'm still going to be able to call in like a Cyclops and shoot your object. So I think that it's not so much the map problem, it's the spamming of theme teams where you have a +9 Avengers theme team and they're only playing the giant girls just to get the boost and maybe use them to retaliate. here or there.
Maybe, yeah.
Cosmic, I'm playing 3 floras just because 1, it gives me 3 more ID cards, and 2, it gives me an extra +3 to my Cosmic theme team. So now I'm a +8, and I'm gonna get my map.
Hey, don't sleep on floors quaking.
Like no, they still serve a purpose, but they're
Yeah.
also their main purposes, and some of these other guys' main purposes. A suited
Yeah.
henchman, a guy who doesn't break theme, is literally just there so I can get him another ID card in.
Yeah. Or
So
he's just there so Kobe can trade team abilities.
can trade Underworld.
Yeah.
But again, I mean that's so. It maybe it isn't so much just the maps themselves; it's just the spamming of themes.
Yeah. Let's see. So Malcolm Rush writes in. He's got a bunch of WWE related questions.
It is now time for the Malcolm Rush thesis paper of the week, brought to you straight from Japan. So let's go ahead and read off his
so he's
35 questions together, and we'll try and answer it in one big amalgam of a question.
All right. I'm just gonna generalize it. Okay. So he wants to know what other powers and abilities we think should be in WWE clicks, what they'd be called, who would have them, what figures we'd want. We think WizKids will never make. What figures do we want to see next out of WizKids for WWE? If there's a tag team mechanic, how would we make it work?
And who's your favorite wrestler?
And who's our
right
favorite
now
wrestler
in WWE or outside of the promotion?
It doesn't say right now. It just says
Or
I don't watch.
favorite,
I don't watch current wrestling, so you can take that how you want. So I got to be honest. I haven't looked super in depth at WWE clicks yet. I know they have like powers like sneak and things like that that are exclusive to them, and I think it's really interesting. So like as far as like what colors and power sets should go on what parts of the dial, like I don't know. I just got to answer with an I don't know because I know they had some in the WizKids presentation, but my free time has been a lot less lately, so I just haven't had time to really sit down and dig through it.
So, what I've read, so there's an ability. I think it's called something like Nimble.
Yeah.
And it's almost like a 3 square sidestep, like a Kenny Pena Canadian sidestep.
Yeah.
So it's like a 3 square sidestep. The wrestling team ability itself, I think I'm just paraphrasing because I didn't memorize the stuff, but
Sure.
they're the WWE team ability. I think if they're on their starting click, they can't be targeted by range attacks. So they can't be targeted, period, by range attacks.
That's good.
There's they all have signature moves, and if you hit somebody with a signature move, there is the ability called pin, where then you roll off with the opponent, and if they roll higher than you, they get to kick out. But if you pin them, I think you deal them like a penetrating damage or something. So they have small, and then there's other things where you can bounce off of ropes, and you consider blocking or hindering as ropes. And if you're next to X amount of ropes, you can do this or that. So
that's cool.
They just put out a press thing today. They are modern legal.
Yep. We shared that on the Facebook page if you haven't seen it.
They are modern legal. If you have pick a power abilities, so if you're playing like an Exo Specs, let's say, and I think their thing was if player A is playing only Marvel. So let's say player A is playing only Marvel, and player B is playing only WWE. If you have like Exo Specs on your team, I'm pretty sure you're able to pick powers and abilities from the WWE universe because they're on the map. I may be wrong. I think maybe you might have to have them on your team as well. But you're able. So if I'm using Exo Specs, I'm able to pick a speed or attack power from the WWE pack if WWE HeroClix are on the map. So that opens up a whole nother world of pick a power craziness.
Yeah, that's wild. So like, what character do you think they'll never make?
Chris Benoit.
Chris Benoit.
Chris
That's,
Benoit is the answer always. Chris
I mean,
Benoit never make Hulk
murdered his
Hogan
family and killed himself.
literally murdered his family, hung himself on a Bowflex. It's the
Yeah.
weirdest story ever. There's another great podcast, I believe it's called Crime and Sports,
Uh,
and they cover like it's a whole lot of crime, little sports. They covered, I think, Chris Benoit, and I think they've covered like Razor Ramon and a couple other wrestlers. Chris
yeah.
Benoit's story is one of the craziest stories ever. We'll never see him in HeroClix.
It's tragic. It's really tragic.
It's people still think he didn't do it. People think that he himself was murdered and it was staged to look that way. You can go down a rabbit hole on YouTube that is hours long
I
of
can't do that.
it just, and then you actually like listen to some of it, and some of it makes sense with the
Yeah.
way they break. Like it's nuts.
That's the problem with conspiracies, right? There's always something about it that makes sense.
But and then well, the problem is too is it's usually because police don't handle stuff correctly.
Sure.
So then you have these gaps that make it look so suspicious.
Yeah.
So a Hulk Hogan, I don't think will ever be made either.
Did they not make him in this one?
No, because of the whole racist thing.
Um,
He's kind of wiggling his way back into their good graces.
he's like iconic though, man.
I don't think that. I
That's
don't
what, I
think
was trying
either
to
of
think
them want to touch it.
who are people that like Vince McMahon hates, like hates,
Right now,
like just like people like Bret Hart. He got jobs so bad, you know what I mean? Like,
but
he,
Bret Hart will be Bret
but
Hart. There's a list of there is a list of people who have been completely banned from the WWE. Chris Jericho will probably never make a hero click of him.
Sure.
CM Punk, you'll probably never see a hero click.
Oh
of
yeah,
CM Punk.
He's got the big lawsuit, right?
He won the big lawsuit.
Yeah, he won the big lawsuit,
and so it was more. But that's the thing. It was more against the
doctor.
The doctors and the doctor thing than that was the WWE.
Yeah, but WWE.
Cabana won.
Yeah.
Who else? Dean Ambrose, who just left the company and went to AEW as John Moxley. You'll probably never see him because of how he went out and because he's with a different promotion right now. Who is it?
That's good. That's a good list. Who should be made? Who hasn't yet? Hulk Hogan, right? That's a.
I don't think he should be.
What, really?
Yeah, I don't.
Dude, like,
he's
okay. I understand.
Too many strikes. His son,
I understand all that.
Killed someone in like a weird car thing. He's
had no. I know. I get all that, but I'm just like, look at all he did for the WWE. All he did. You can't give me a leg drop in Hulk Hogan.
Between his son, the sex tape,
a shirt
and the racist thing, I don't think either company want to touch him. Oh, should he be made? Yes. Will he be made? Probably not.
Okay, that's fine. Like I can, probably as long as we can agree, he should be made.
I don't think.
How about Yokozuna? Just a big fat dude, just like
like a giant size like Yokozuna, a retaliator.
A peanut base Yokozuna. He's just that big, just that wide.
I would say make him a 4 square, make him a colossal retaliator, bonsai drop, stop, and then let it. You know what I mean? Vader bomb, stop. Vader could be another retaliator.
No, but Vader wasn't. Like Kamala. Kamala's another one that would be fun.
Kamala, Ugandan giant.
Yeah.
What a tugboat, earthquake.
What does this tell you about when I watched wrestling? Like I don't know who any of the modern day people are. I know CM Punk is only because of UFC.
Yeah, I mean, guys who should be made. I'm still a big component of I want like a Coco Beware with his bird.
Hawk and Animal.
Hawk and Animal, Legion of Doom. But again, with the Legion of Doom, like Hawk died tragically and they kind of made him a laughing stock and they took his alcoholism and kind of like wrote it into the story. So I mean, they might not want to like put that out there because they kind of there are a lot of demons, man. There are a lot of I'm surprised that one they made WWE Hero Clicks because there's
Period.
so much
Period.
controversy around it.
Hack and Slash.
Who?
What are their names? Hack and
Axe and
Slash?
Smash?
Something
Demolition?
like that. Yeah,
Hack
something
and
like that.
Slash? I
Whatever
love
their names were.
Yeah, Demolition. No, they're another one that probably won't get made. Demolition actually, they were gonna be voted into the Hall of Fame,
You know
and
way too much about this,
they
dude.
declined. They told the WWE, "Nah, we're good."
All right, so who's your favorite wrestler?
My favorite wrestler.
Let's
I
wrap
mean,
these up.
of all time, I would have to say, oh God, there's so many good ones, man. But you had the Attitude Era, so when they were transitioning out of that, they needed somebody to carry that weight, and I'm a huge CM Punk guy.
Mhm.
He wasn't well, one, I'm straight edge, so it was good. It was nice to see that, like, him representing the culture correctly. Even though he then kind of did the whole straight edge society where he was kind of a dick and was
Yeah,
like kind of the stereotypical straight edge person that what
sure.
people
Yeah.
are.
That
Um,
Karen, the Karen of the world,
like
Karens of the
yeah, like
world.
the whole like I'm better than you, like the whole like I'm better than you because of who I am, like he's not that way, but there are a lot of straight edge people that are, and
Mhm.
it's frustrating. But he carried that torch and that weight and that huge time span when they were kind of coming out of the Attitude Era, where he still kind of had that edginess to him and didn't have to like be Stone Cold Steve Austin or The Rock to do it.
Yeah.
So I like him for that reason. But right now, like there are some great guys on the independent circuit, guys like Will Ospreay, who does
Mhm.
amazing things in the ring. Flip Gordon. I like oh
You gotta
God.
pick one, man.
There,
Sheesh.
there is so much talent that's
Uh,
not in the WWE that
I
is
understand.
on the indie circuits. It is amazing that
Yeah. No, I understand.
it's AEW is going to really give the WWE a run for their money,
Yeah.
especially when they get on TV. They already have they already have a TV deal with TNT.
So does TNA, or at some
All right,
point.
but TNA is ran by Dixie Carter and like Jeff Jarrett, or
Anyway,
it's going to be run poorly.
so for me, like I've watched the Attitude Era, like you said,
Yes,
and then I watched like the old school, like Hulk Hogan and all
the
that type of
super
stuff.
gimmicks where everybody
Super
had
gimmicks.
some
Yeah,
sort of a
the
gimmick.
'80s, early '90s wrestling. So,
What we're gonna
from
do? We're gonna give you some big hair cutters. We're gonna call you Brutus the Barber. That's what
yeah,
you're gonna do. Yeah,
we're gonna put like a turban on you, and you're gonna
exactly.
be this terrorist guy. It's like
You're what's that?
okay,
You're Italian? That's right. We're gonna make you Muslim now. You're gonna be
yeah,
a Muslim, and you're gonna go out there. You're gonna be a bad guy, and you're gonna wear a turban. We're gonna call you the Sheik, the Iron Sheik. That's what you're gonna
yeah.
do. You're gonna be a bad Iranian.
I like
It's the most
the
racist stuff ever.
I liked Ultimate Warrior. I really liked Ultimate Warrior a lot. And then I don't know, just as a kid, I had the wrestling dummy or wrestling buddy.
Absolutely, the wrestling buddies
Yeah,
with our
I had
pillows.
that. Yeah, my
Uh,
brother had Hulk Hogan. I had Ultimate Warrior.
I think
And we
those are the only
just
two they made.
no, they made other ones. There was Jake the Snake. There was
Oh, there you go. This is what we're gonna do. We're gonna give you a mullet, and you're gonna carry a snake because you're white
because
trash.
you're
Like,
white trash.
think that's
Yeah,
it. Then what's your gimmick? You're gonna just be yourself, but you're gonna
and
wear
then
snake boots and you're gonna have a snake.
I was always the Steve Austin guy. Always. I'm
There's
I'm I,
Macho Man was great.
I'm just picking one from each era.
I,
One from
I'm
each
just
era.
I'm just I love wrestling. It's just
Yeah,
one of the happiest times of my life.
obviously you love it.
Yo, people don't know Macho Man was a professional baseball player. He has a baseball card out there.
Professional actor,
It had his
Spider
heart.
Man.
Bonesaw is ready. And then his heart exploded from snapping into too many Slim Jims.
Poor guy. Snapping his Slim Jim.
He
That's right.
snapped into
I believe
a
there.
he
I believe
snapped
there was
into
a
a
Macho Man.
roadside tree
I
after
believe
his
there
heart.
was a Macho Man wrestling buddy, actually. By the way.
There may have been, yes. Now that I'm thinking of it, I can see it.
So we are at about an hour and a half in. Is there anything else you want to talk about?
Do we want to pull that pin
Yeah, we can
and
pull that pin.
pull a pin. Go for it.
So there was a big to do about on another page of I think it was Shots Fired, right? It was on the
It was
Shots
shots
Fired.
fired. Paris
Was
was
it
on there and called out, I think, Mike Holloway.
Mike Hall, yeah, whatever his name was.
Holloway.
Yeah, so and there was a lot of back and forth. I made some comments on there, but I was just more like really confused about what's going on. Like I don't understand what the problem is. So here's the thought. Here's like the two, I guess, conflicting school of thoughts, right? So the basic gist of the story is either Micah misplayed, or he meant to say something but said something else, right? Because it's one person's word versus another. I'm not going to sit here and pick sides about who's right or
No,
wrong.
but I think the thing is that Micah outwitted something.
Yeah, what is super sense
Was told that he couldn't do it from where he was, replaced him, and then outwitted the same exact thing again. And
but
then
see,
once time hit, like for him to roll, he realized, oh shit.
No, he sidestepped. So he sidestepped his shredder and was reminded that Lockjaw had invincible. Yeah, and so I had asked the question like, well, how was it said? Was it like invincible, super senses, invincible, or was it like out with super senses, you can't see me. Okay, put here out with super senses, sidestep. I have invincible. Oh, I meant invincible.
And that's I think the way that it kind of was, from what I'm understanding.
And Micah says it wasn't. So I'm not, like I said, I'm not going to sit here and pick.
It's a he said, she said.
Yeah, it's exactly. So that doesn't matter. But the thought is like, okay, if you know you knew the intent, right? Like, so like people are like, you're a jerk. You're in the wrong for holding Micah to that, and you shouldn't. You should like if that's how you gotta win, then you suck. Like it's like okay. Or other comments I see is like I want to see my opponent play their best game, so I'll let them do it. And I think Eason was like one of the people that said that PJ, and it's like I understand that too. And I don't know where I fall in any of that exactly. For me, it really depends on the tempo of the match and like the kind of temperature of the
absolutely
the chemistry of me and the other player. So it's like if it's me and you, like yeah, go for it. But like I knew what you meant, or whatever. But if it's me and guy that threw my line of fire at me last time I went to Origins, no, you can go fuck yourself. But
oh no, I had a guy at Worlds where he picked a map, and I literally said was I want to play from right to left, and then looked at the map and said, all right, I want this side of the map. Can we rotate it? And he literally said, nope, you've already chosen the right side. Yeah. And I was like, really?
Yeah.
So that's the I already know the temperature of the match now. Sure. Is that.
Sure. So like there's a lot of factors, right? But my thoughts, so like the point is like at what point do you let someone take it back, right? Like so there's like a lot of factors, like how often did this happen during the match? Mm-hmm. What happened in between the take back? Like was there new information revealed? Et cetera, et cetera. Micah fully says he knew Lockjaw had invincible. He just verbally blundered. Okay, so for my thought is like, well, maybe I would have let Micah say, "Oh, you meant invincible? Okay, that's cool." I don't think the other guy's in the wrong to not let him do that. You know what I mean? Because it's like you said super senses. You said
super senses, and then you moved and played your play. So I can understand both sides of the spectrum. I
Yeah.
could I don't think he's wrong for telling him no, especially when Micah says I 100% knew he had invincible. I
Yeah.
outwitted the senses and then I sidestepped in and then realized, oh shit, I didn't say invincible. I said super senses. At that
Yeah.
point in time, you as a player too have to have some sort of accountability on that as well. You can't blame the other guy for not
Yeah.
letting you take back like your mistake. You need to have some sort of accountability at some point in time and say, "Nope, I screwed up. That's on me. I
Yeah.
shouldn't expect you to let me play this game with a pencil."
Yeah, and I think Easton said that basically. He's like, look, when I play, I will fully let my opponent take stuff back, but I will not ask for my stuff to be taken back. And I think that's where a lot of players are,
Yeah.
to be honest with you, especially like the Eastons, the PJs. I've heard PJ make mistakes and say, "Oh man, whatever." But I've also heard him like, "Ooh, I meant that," and it's like, yeah, that's fine because nothing else happened, right? It's always like immediate.
You're still in the middle of making that movement or you're still in the
Yeah.
middle of that action. You
So
didn't do
like
something and then do something else and then go, "Oh no, I
yeah.
meant to do this."
So I've been on both sides of that where it's like, like I played Kenji at Origins one time and is like his picking powers of Jakeem, the game was winding down. I was up, but my Jakeem was limping, and he's like he picked. I had shape change, and he picked like exploit and whatever charge or something, right?
Mm,
And then he's like does some other stuff, and then like he goes to charge, and he goes, "Oh, you picked shape change, huh?" And I was like, "Yeah," and he's like, "Oh, I want to pick Battle Fury, not exploit." And I'm like, but like some other rules had happened. I was like, I can't let you do that. You know what I mean? Like I can't.
you've already gone too far.
You've already gone too far. But because it was also like, are you sure it's charge and exploit? He's like, yes. He's like, okay. And then the same thing is like, oh, I forgot. And then on the other hand, it was like, damn it, I forgot to outwit your prob. And I was like, but I forgot. I'm screwed.
Mm,
And it ended up costing me the match. And it's fine. So like, and like, I don't think Kenji was in the wrong because like he had done some other stuff, but like nothing. Like I don't think he was in the wrong to change his mind because it wasn't like some dice rolled or this or that. But it's like it's weird. It's like a weird thing, right? There's like a gray area. Like, and he didn't think I was in the wrong. He was like, no, I totally get it. It's fine, because that literally decides the outcome of the game. And I actually did hit the shape change roll. You know
and
what I
that's
mean? So,
but that's also where like people this is why PJ talks so much during his matchup.
yeah,
He talks things out, and this is why I think people need to
intent
be
is
more verbal with
huge.
things, and they need to like when you pick powers, I
Uh,
should then be like, okay, so he's got this and this. I'm going to do this and this, so I can do like. Sometimes it's okay to like verbally say what you're going to do, just so you're also reminding yourself what powers this person in front of you has,
mhm.
and that's why a lot of people will talk out their stuff because
Yeah,
if I'm playing you and it's super tight and I'm like, okay, I need to do this and that and this and that, and you might be like, all right, just remember I picked shape change. Yes, thank you, I appreciate it. Okay,
yeah,
so if I go here and here and here, I can outwit your shape change. Like so, you have a verbal thing of like
yeah.
you're constantly reminding yourself where
It's
you
an
are.
agreement. It's an agreement, is what it is.
Exactly.
Is
And
and so that's the big thing. Like when I run events, I always say like agree on values before you roll.
absolutely.
Ask 10 on a 17.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool. You need a
Okay, cool.
7.
If I say 10 on a 17, or like if I'm the judge, Aries says 10 on a 17, Patrick Frazier says yes, and then you roll the 7, and he goes, I forgot to have combat reflexes. No, like you call me over, I'm gonna side with Aries because you guys agreed.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, and I've made that call in tournament because I don't think it's right because like maybe you have perplex you could have used.
Exactly.
Like or something like that. And I don't think that's right. I don't like these. I don't like those like gotcha like
Those aha gotcha moments.
yeah.
Yes.
Like
But
maybe if you don't understand the gimmick of a team, that kind of like okay, that's different. That's a gimmick. That's not like shady, like sketchy play. You know what I mean? Like I don't
Absolutely. Like I've
like if
literally
you don't understand how Kobik Trader works and you run up next to me with your Unimine and I go, okay, token, like, oh, what? Like, yeah, you like totally played into me. Like
yeah, you should read my
you
cards
should read my
before the game
cards. Yeah,
starts.
exactly.
Exactly.
So, like I'm okay. I'm okay with that. And even then, like usually I'm like, you know what these guys do? You need to see any cards.
Yes.
Yeah, and half the time, nah, I'm good.
Yep. And that happened to
That's
one of my players at a state championship. He he was very new to competitive play. He's playing a lot better now, but he
uh,
played against a guy who was playing Bizarro Green Arrow.
sure.
So he's basically talking out, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, I'm going to do this. Okay, now I'm going to attack you. And then the person goes, oh yeah, by the way, all that stuff you did, you're actually attacking Bizarro Green Arrow. Oh,
Yeah,
so you let me outwit his defense and this guy's this and this and this, just to then tell me after all that I'm actually attacking a Bizarro Green Arrow. And I asked him, I said, did you actually read the guy's cards ahead of time? And he was like, no. I'm like, well, that's kind of on you too. I'm like, yes, it's one of those gotcha
it's a
moments,
dink move,
and
you know. Like
it's kind of a shady shit move. But
yeah,
you also had the opportunity to go, hey, I don't
mhm,
know a couple of these figures. Can I see their cards, please?
sure.
And then go, oh, so anytime I go to hit somebody and they're adjacent to him, I'm actually hitting him. Okay, gotcha. Now I know what to do. It was
Yeah,
kind of like, oh, he didn't know what was going on. Gotcha moment.
yeah. Yeah,
Oh,
and I get it. Like again, that's one of those things. It's a gray area. There's two sides of that coin. I get both sides. It's like
but again,
most of the
is
time,
Paris playing Big Brother and just kind of like sticking up
uh,
for his buddy Micah too on this one?
maybe a little bit of that, maybe. But I don't think there's anything wrong with that. You
No,
know.
no, I'm not saying there is anything either. Just dropping that out there as a conversation piece. It's
I do think like a lot of younger players like the Micahs and the Isaacs of the
Jake
game,
Major.
Jalen Major, yeah, they're like, hey, they're kids, they're kids, take it easy. And I'm like, they're very good players,
Absolutely.
especially Isaac. Isaac's a Terminator on the board. Like, I'm sorry, like I'm not gonna I would never be a jerk to any of these guys. Don't get me wrong. I played Jalen. We had a great, fantastic
Hmm.
Team Worlds game. Fantastic. Came down the wire, and it was a blast. I I do think like there's something to be said. Like in the event, they're HeroClix players.
Absolutely.
They're not kids. They're not adults. They're
And they
not.
probably know more about the game than me.
Oh yeah,
I mean,
Isaac definitely knows more about the. I've listened to him talk about the game. He definitely knows more about this game than I do. What I mean, like he's just got an outstanding mind for it. So
absolutely.
I've talked to him. He's a great kid, and it's like, but he's a HeroClix player. When
Hmm.
I'm playing HeroClix against another HeroClix player, like can you imagine if I sat down and was like, I'm gonna take it easy on this kid, Isaac? I don't know who that is. Can you imagine if I sat down and was like, I'm gonna take it easy on this kid? He would just steamroll me
He
so
would
hard.
smash you and not blink an eye doing it,
Yeah, it'd
and
be
then
like
shake your hand
hilarious.
and
Yeah,
then be like, "Look at this
thanks.
jump,
Yeah,
this
thanks for
West
the easy
Coast
win,
jump I just
sucker.
smashed."
Ridiculous.
Oh,
But I don't know, man. So maybe it is a little bit of that post mortem Big Brother type thing, but I don't think there's anything wrong with that either because
no, not at all.
like I know a lot of players in this game have like quirks,
Hmm.
uh, social anxiety type stuff or verbal, like Mike is like he's like I have a verbal thing, right? So I'm like, okay, I get that. But he's like, well, I made a blunder. It wasn't that I missed. I'm like, well, I don't see the difference. You know what I mean? Like you said one thing and meant another. That's a mistake. And
You
part of this
it,
game is making less mistakes than your opponent.
absolutely.
So
It's like again, I talked about it at the beginning of the show. I umpire a lot of baseball,
sure.
and sometimes you can play a game on paper great, but if
Mhm.
you walk more batters, or if you make an error, or if you balk, it's going to hurt you in the long run. And those are all mental mistakes. And in
Yep.
something like HeroClix, you could play the game completely great, but if you make one or two mental mistakes, like calling out the wrong thing for outwit or something like that, there has to be some sort of accountability for it. Now, I
Sure.
get you can say, well, I made a mistake. He should have done this or that. No, well, you also should take some of the blame as well and not blame shift it to your opponent and been like, oh, my opponent was a jerk because
Yeah.
I made a mistake. No, it's on you as well.
Yeah.
Again, I played Tony Rodriguez in Worlds in the first round. And when it came to, I think, the third turn, I had used Sam Cap to call in a Wolverine. And
Uh,
when it came back around to my turn, I said, before we start this next round, I'm going to put a second action token on Sam Cap because you're playing Sheriff Strange.
mm,
And I didn't double token her. So let's
yeah.
do that now and then start the round. I could have been a complete dick and been like, well, you didn't catch
You
it.
did
So
catch it. Yeah.
here I am. But
Yeah.
instead, nope, hey, this is what happened. Let's fix the mistake. Which again, I believe in Click's karma. I ended
Yeah.
up rolling 2 6s on super senses when he had precision strike on two different Cyclopses called in.
Well,
So
and Tony's the type where he would have been like, "Oh, you're right. I messed up." I know
oh,
Tony. I've played against Tony a number of times. He'd be
absolutely.
like, he'd be like,
But
"Oh man,
it's
I
one
didn't
of
catch
those
that.
things
Let's
where
keep
it's
going."
both of our responsibilities to
Yeah.
maintain the integrity of the game state. So I slid the
Yeah.
token on, whatever. Let's keep it moving.
Yeah.
Again, that's on him, but also on me.
Sure.
So if you make a mistake, you can't just blame the guy across the map. You should have let me do this.
Yeah.
No, you should have also slowed down, taken the time,
Yeah.
and outwitted the right ability. So
Yeah.
again, yes, it's a
I
weird gray area.
I like I'll just end with this and for me like I know intent's a big part of it. Like if you're playing shredders and you know I have invincible and you outwit my super senses and like I'm gonna be like okay and then you don't immediately shoot at me, I'm gonna just be like did you mean to outwit that? And if you're like oh no I want to outwit your invincible, all right fine, that's cool. Like personally that's me because I've played shredders, I know how that team works.
Yes.
So,
But again, this is what I just said too, like people talking out the game.
yeah.
Like this is where you should, hey, I've got invincible, right? Is that what you
Yeah.
wanted to pick?
Yeah.
Oh, maybe I shouldn't do that. Okay, well
Yeah.
let's it, shit. Sometimes you watch PJ and PJ is almost like when someone's taking a long time to make decisions, PJ will literally be like, "Hey, these are your options. This is what we got to go with. We
Yeah.
got we got to get the game moving because I already know my next three moves."
Yeah.
And so again, it's just why
That's
there
a
should be some communication in the game.
that's a
Being like,
mental thing too, though.
I'm,
That's a little
oh
bit of
no,
gamesmanship. That's a little
oh
bit of
no, no, I
gamesmanship.
played. I've mentioned it on this show before. PJ Bolin is a used car salesman
Oh
because
yeah.
he can talk you into almost anything.
Oh yeah.
I played in that battle royal with
Thing
him.
is, half the time he's right.
But then it was funny because we're at this battle royal table and it's me and PJ basically making the decisions for the next two guys in front of us and they're just watching us go rabbit season, duck season back and forth.
Not good.
And I think the other two guys are like, what the
It's
hell are
all
they
bad.
doing?
Yeah.
And then the guy
That's
put
all.
up the barriers and PJ knew right off the rip, okay, so he can't because he knew I was shooting him next turn.
Yeah.
And then this guy puts these barriers up, and I'm like, well, now he's just gonna quake this shit out of you. And sure enough, it came back around. He quakes them all into their own barriers, and he's just looking at me. I'm like, you bastard. He's like, well, I can't let you kill me. Used car salesman.
That's
PJ's a
fine.
used car salesman.
All right, man. Well, let's wrap it up.
The bed.
So
If
I
you
want to remind.
horse.
Yeah, you go to bed. Hey, I want to remind everyone though. Saturday and Sunday, Hobbytown in Fresno, California. We have regional ROC regional on Saturday, and WKO on Sunday. There will be battle royals for the WKO on Sunday, but not on Saturday because
You get that, Ben?
the
Battle Royals on Saturdays, not Sundays.
West Coast warehouses were shorted and because of nationals, which I get it. They
And
got to
even
make
they
sure.
ran out too.
Even they ran out. So, yeah, I get
This
it.
game's
So,
dying, bro.
yes, yes. So we have enough for the battle royals on Sunday, but we do not have enough for extra events on Saturday. But it's okay because we're gonna have a lot of fun. Both events, 300 Modern, got Chip and I think Pastor Brian's coming from
Oh,
Pacific
fat
Northwest.
Indiana Jones, as I
Fat
called
Indiana
him.
Jones. They're coming down. Steve and
That,
Tony are coming up. Jesse Cote's coming down.
that's Doctor
Uh,
Jones.
we've got a lot. I think even Alyssa McNeil signed up. So
Oh,
yeah, so like it'll be, and she doesn't normally play competitive, so that's
you live
interesting.
streaming?
I don't think I'll be live streaming because the Wi-Fi there is kind of spotty, but
Ooh,
I plan to be recording for the YouTube channel.
there we go.
So the last matches went over well that I recorded, the top eight and then the winner map
Yes,
after. So I got a lot of positive feedback on that. So I'm gonna try and roll with that same setup and see how it goes. So
nice.
uh, yeah, I hope you guys come out. The regional buy-in I think is $30, and then the WK was 10. So if you can't make both days, come to one. You know, some of these people say they can't make 2-day events. This is not a 2-day event. It's two 1-day events, and you're more than welcome to show up to either or.
And
So
what's that battle royal day again?
Sunday.
Sunday.
We're not
Battle
starting
royals.
battle royales until after like round two.
That's you. That's you, Ben. That's you, Diego. I know you guys are battle
Di-
royal connoisseurs.
no, Diego plays the main event.
I know he does, but I also see him out there playing battle royals.
Oh yeah,
No, no Godzilla. Yo, if he won, he would make a Godzilla figure or the closest thing possible. I guarantee it.
yeah. Some
He would
kind
be
of
like,
guy.
I want to make a cool Crux
It's
from
like
DC.
our Pacific Rim still good. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
It's Kaiju.
yeah.
All right, all right, man. Well, that's it for this episode. This will get up. It's pretty late. I'll do it
Is
tomorrow.
is
All
late.
right, sign us out, man. It's your turn. My nose is leaking like a
What's
faucet.
that? Oh
My
man, so
nose.
you know the game hasn't started until you're 2 clicks from KO Flex.